President Ashley. Amber Harmon wears two hats and is the Toys for Tots coordinator for the U.S. Marine Corps Foundation and the holiday events coordinator for the Salvation Army. She has worked for nonprofits most of her career and is currently serves on a couple of city committees in her hometown of Eureka. She has been married to her husband, Charlie, for 29 years and has two sons in college. Joe lives in Park City, Utah, and is a golf major working on his PGA. And Jack is an education major at ISU. Amber and Charlie just got back from a 2-year assignment in Shanghai, China. Maddison Barnard is a Central Illinois native and the volunteer and special events coordinator for the Salvation Army in Peoria. Her passion for serving others really took root while she was teaching pre-K, where she saw how tough times at home can deeply affect young kids. That experience pushed her to get more involved in helping families and creating ways for the community to come together and support each other. Maddison loves what she does and feels grateful to make a difference every day. And I also might add in here as well, it's also National Salvation Army Week from May 12th through the 18th. So please welcome Maddison and Amber.
Hello, everybody. I'm Maddison. Thank you so much for having us here today. This is something that I've only been in this position for about a year. Like you heard, I did teach pre-K at the Salvation Army for about 3 years before I took this position, and then 5 years in Morton before that. So definitely got to see firsthand and experience a lot of the impact on, how tough times affect kids, as I'm sure you guys have all seen. So we are mostly here to talk to you guys about volunteer opportunities and volunteer impact. In April, it was National Volunteer Month. We got to celebrate a lot of our volunteers who either, they diligently come maybe once a month to serve sack lunches to the community through our food pantry. We also celebrated some organizations who sent groups, and they continue to send groups every week, and logged about 400 volunteer hours last year just as small groups. No amount of volunteer hours is more important than the other. 1 hour of time can make the biggest impact. You would be so surprised. Like I said, whether it's serving sack lunches through our food pantry, assisting at our annual Salvation Army toy shop in December, you really get to not only work with our staff, but work with the people directly in our community that are most affected by tough times, whether that's just because I had an unexpected medical bill come up, or, I'm kind of stuck in this generational cycle of poverty. That is something that until I think you experience firsthand, you don't really understand, right? And hopefully we don't ever have to understand it, but we do have the ability to give our time to those and make a difference. So we did, or at least I left something on your table about some things that we have that are always ongoing volunteer opportunities in our food pantry, serving meals, whether that's a meal that our cook prepares at on campus for our 2 shelters, or you decide one night, my church group or my friend group or what have you want to prepare and bring in a meal to serve to one of the shelters. That's always an opportunity as well. We work with I guess he's not a student at Morton High School anymore. He's just completed his first year at U of I, but Nicholas Delgado has the last 3 years put on a 5K to benefit the Salvation Army programs and services. So that's happening in June that we would love to have you join us. Just like on the race route, cheering on racers and things like that. Different opportunities that are ongoing for volunteer needs, and I will kind of pass it off to Amber to talk a little bit more specifically about holiday volunteer opportunities.
So this is just my second month since being back, and so I'm excited to be back and to be serving those in need. I wear two hats. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is we have a program called Battle of the Bells. And so there are some Saturdays where we have companies or organizations or sports groups, whatever, ring bells and battle against each other to see who can bring in the most money for Red Kettle. So if you would be interested, if your businesses would be interested, again, your friend group, your organization, we would be glad to have you. And I left a sheet on your table of the impact of ringing bells and the importance of it. So if you would read through that, that would be great. And then I also wear my hat and put on the Toys for Tots warehouse. And so we collect toys. And we have shipments of toys come in, and so if you want to see what the latest and greatest toys are and want to come out and separate some toys by age group, we would love to have you. The mall is very generous and lets us rent a space, and we always need volunteers to come out and help do that. So I left a Toys for Tots sheet, and you will notice that last year alone we gave out over 83,000 toys to almost 13,000 children in need in the Tri-County area. So we would love to see any of you come out and volunteer with us. And Madison left information on how you can do that. And so if you have questions or want to see us again, that would be great. See us at Christmas. Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Thank you both for being here. On one of these sheets, it talks about the toys shop. Can you talk, do kids, or how do you distribute the toys?
So it's done by, obviously, financial need. And what it is we separate toys by age group. So it might be like 0 to 2, 2 to 4. And then the parents actually get to come and shop for their child. And so they get an escort. They get to pick out the toys that they, that will fit their child. They know their child best. And so we're trying to help them create a Christmas morning for every child. And so, yeah, we divide them up by ages and kind of boy, girl, and then the parents get to come through and do that.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hello, thank you for being here. How has Toys for Tots been impacted with the relocation of the local Marine Corps Reserve unit?
I wish I knew. I've only been here a month. However, I am here and you don't see a Marine. So I am sure, I know that it has impacted them because of their relocation. And so they've reached out to get area coordinators. And so those area coordinators have kind of taken over. Marines will still come at Christmas. They'll still, the foundation still ships toys. I think it's just, I think they're still trying to serve all the individual areas just from a different area, unfortunately. But all of the toys that get shipped here stay here in Central Illinois.
I have another question. Okay. Given our current environment, I'm wondering if these programs that you've talked about, if you're anticipating any financial impact from federal cuts in programming, and if the answer is yes, how might groups like us help you fill the gap?
Yeah, so we are very heavily reliant on not only volunteer support, but also like individual donor support. We do receive federal funding for some of our programs. The Toys for Tots program specifically is all of those toys are received either through, or for our toy shop, excuse me. All of those families who receive toys during Toy Shop, the toys are received either through donations. So we've had individual groups have boxes, collect toys, drop them off for us. We've had several organizations do drives for us during that holiday time. I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. But that is, especially for this program, that is what we heavily rely on, is those individuals who want to take the time to, even if it's, we could only collect 5 toys. That makes a difference. So the way that it affects how families may receive toys at Toy Shop is just kind of the amount of items they may be able to get. Last year, we were so lucky to receive and be able to distribute so many toys. And we couldn't do that without the help of donations from the organization, from individuals. So each year, we kind of don't know what we're walking into until we're there. I know the year before last year, there weren't as many items. We served more people in 2024 than we did the year before. The exact numbers I'm not 100% sure of, but I am happy to get those and forward them along if somebody would like them. So we kind of just have to hope that we're able to provide for as many people as sign up for our toy shop. So hopefully that answered a little bit.
Hi, thanks again for being here. So what is your coverage area? Do you by counties? I know you have other locations like in Pekin, that type of thing. So can you talk about that, please?
Yeah, so we, Peoria falls under the Tri-County. So that would be Tazewell County, Peoria, and Woodford, yes. So mostly, Tazewell County, we have our Pekin 360 Life Center, and they actually host their own toy shop. Peoria hosts for Peoria County. Woodford, which I believe they're located in Bloomington, hosts for Woodford County. So we're all connected, but we all kind of do it individually, if that makes sense, just to be able to reach the most people in our specific county.
It's hard for Woodford County parents to get all the way to Peoria.
And so we want them to have an option to go to Woodford County and to get that. We don't want Tazewell County people to have to come all the way to Peoria, so we put one on in there for them, so.
So what a wonderful opportunity to supply gifts at Christmas to children in need. Our church, and I'm active in Loaves and Fish downtown, and we have a drive, and a couple of businesses buy 200 or 300 like Mattel toys. And really amazing that they have the heart to do that. The question I have is, what's going on with your building downtown? Is there's a project going on down there? Thank you.
There is a project going on down there. We'll talk a little bit about it, but Craig Young is actually going to come talk in a couple of months in October. Leah has invited him, so we don't really want to steal Craig's thunder, but we have torn down the old Labor Temple, thank you. And we're getting ready to build a new men's shelter, and we're in the process of taking down an older building that is a veterans center. And so we're going to hopefully be able to double the number of beds that we have for men and create more opportunities and more programs for them to utilize.
Hold on, Bob, I have a question back here and then we'll hand it back to you. Thank you both for being here today. I've seen the Toys for Tot boxes, the stations around over the years. I was just curious as far as monetary donations versus toys. Is that a pretty even mix? And part two to that is, with the money, then you have groups that'll go out and buy the toys with those funds and.
So looking through the information that I have, we get mostly toy donations. We do get some monetary donation. And yes, that money goes out to purchase toys. Perhaps there's an age group that has less than another age group. So we want to, buy toys for that age group as well. And so that's what monetary donations are for, is for that age group that is, limited or has less toys for them.
So I made a big mistake when I was talking about Loaves and Fish and the toy giveaway. Bill Lurvach is an important part of that. And Bill is over here to my left. And a big round of applause for what he does and the joy he brings to them. Along with John Birkeland Distributors. Thank you.
We both would like to thank you for having us today, and we look forward to seeing you, if not during this year, it's especially at Christmas.